Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the April-May favorites or fails. I had to think for a long time about what this is. I was filming. This is my third video for the day, guys, and I'm a little bit rusty in the filming, so I'm getting back into it, and it's a process, okay? So yes, this video is going to be my favorites and fails for the month of April and May. Unfortunately, the beginning of May was a little crazy for me, so I did not get a chance to film my April favorites, so I'm just kind of blending it all together, which is fine, because I don't think it would have been, I have enough products to separate us all, but we doing it together because that's how the cookies crumbled. So if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I'm Jamila. I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup. I love all things skincare. And I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so what I like to do for these videos is actually break things up into lifestyle and makeup. And last month, or in March, I didn't really have a ton of lifestyle products. Things were just kind of like going easy peasy lemon squeezy. But this month I have so much. It's pretty much all lifestyle and very little makeup for you guys. As you have, if you've been watching me on Instagram or following along any of my other platforms, you know that I've been traveling pretty much all May. So I have found all these really, really great travel products and even products for like everyday life that you might be interested in. So this video is going to be very much on the lifestyle heavy piece of it. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. I've said before, I'm really trying to sprinkle in all aspects of my life, not beauty, into this channel. So this one is just going to be a very heavy lifestyle one. All right, I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. Plus, because this is like my third video, I am feeling my voice start to do a lot of things. With telling me like, sit down. You've been doing too much because I've been talking for hours at this point. So I'm going to stop real quickly and we'll dive into this video. Okay, so the first favorite of the month is actually two favorites, but I'm lumping it into one, and that has to go to my Marc Jacobs tote bags. I love these babies. I do have two videos already on my channel talking about the large Marc Jacob tote. This is the leather version. Now I have three of these bags. I have the large in leather, I have the medium in the jacquard style, which is a duotoned canvas one, and then I have the mini in the canvas. So this is in canvas. Slate green is the color of this one, slate green, and this one is leather large in argan oil. That's the shade name. I love these bags, y'all. I don't even know how to describe it. Let me start with this one. This is the perfect work bag. Now this is really good if you just, go into the office every day or once a week, whatever it is. If you have to go into the office, I think this is an excellent tote bag. Now the reason why I picked this one up is because of how large it is. Now if you have a larger work laptop, which they were trying to give me, I found that a lot of my purses, my standard purses, weren't able to fit the size of the laptop I was getting, which was about 15 inches. Now this one does, and I really needed one that fitted. Now it does not offer a crossbody option like the smaller sizes. Once you get to the large, the crossbody goes away, which I think makes sense because I think that a bag this size would not look good in a crossbody. So it is fully leather. You do have the tote bag by Marc Jacobs on this side, and then the little other details in the back here. It is really good leather, super soft, super quality. I've traveled with this 3 times now. It's been to Trinidad with me, it's been to Bismarck, it's been to Washington. So it's been all over the place. I had to tuck this under the airplane seats, and I will say that this is really, really durable. I don't see any scratches on it. I did notice some staining when I was wearing jeans, and it would rub against my jeans, but I took some tissue from the bathroom, some water, and it wiped right off, which I was so happy about, because honestly, when I saw that staining, I had a panic attack, because this bag, $595. With tax, $609, I believe. So it's not cheap. So when I saw that staining, I was like, Jesus, I've only had this for like a couple of weeks. But it wiped right off. Now, my favorite feature of this bag isn't necessarily the straps or anything like that. It is this baby. It zips up. Most tote bags I found are just pretty open compartments, and one of the issues with that is that things tend to fall out. If you have to tuck a tote bag under your seat on the plane and everything is open, it's just gonna roll and keep on rolling, baby. But this, everything stays in nice and easy, nothing falls out. It also, if you notice this really weird hanging piece here, this hook is magnetic, so you can tuck this in and it just stays in place there because there's a magnet holding it together. So I have been obsessed with that bag. I think it's absolutely perfect for travel, especially if you are going on a work trip and you want to be able to hold a bunch of things. It doesn't feel too heavy, in my opinion, when you start putting a lot of things into it. But if you add too many things into it, it can start to feel like it's pretty weighed down. So just be mindful of how much stuff you try to throw in there. Now, the smaller version, and this is the mini version. This is actually, in my opinion, pretty big for a mini. I love this slate green color. I think is really great. The only thing I would change about this is the silver hardware, and that's just because I prefer gold in every aspect. So the silver hardware I'm not in love with. Technically, I could buy different straps for this that had gold hardware, which I probably will do. However, the inside of this that it actually hooks onto is still silver, but you know, it's minimal. You're not able to see it. A big difference between these two is that the little flappy part here, there's no magnet in the minis, so this actually has nothing to hold on to, but you can still tuck it in and it stays pretty well. Again, this is canvas, so in terms of cleaning, you have to be a lot more careful with this one because it can stain. It's not exactly something you want to throw in the wash, and canvas is just harder to clean than leather that you can easily wipe off. So this obviously is cheaper because of the size and the material. And one thing about the canvas edition as well is that there is one pocket in the larger options that has a zip part inside, so it's not just a giant hole. The canvas ones don't, the mini canvas doesn't have that, so it's just kind of like one giant hole. So something to keep in mind if you're going for this one. But I found this one to be really great. This actually does hold a tablet, so if you are just, you know, if you're not doing anything major and you just want to be able to carry your iPad, your wallet, and a couple other stuff, this is the perfect size. I used this a lot when I was in Trinidad because it was a great, cute little handbag to carry your stuff in. So the Marc Jacobs totes have been phenomenal and probably my favorite product of the last 2 months. The next favorite that I have to mention are these sandals. Now, these are from Target, and I fell in love with these when I saw them. And then I tried them on and I walked in them and I was obsessed because these are some of the most comfortable sandals. Now, it does have a little baby heel on it. It's not the highest heel, but honestly, any heel can be uncomfortable when you're in it for a very long time. And I found these to be so comfortable. I took this again with me to Trinidad. We were in Tobago and we had to walk from our hotel to another hotel to go to their restaurant. That's about, I would say, a little bit over a mile away. And this was fine. Easy, no pain, nothing. And I love this neutral color because it just goes with so much. It does come in a lighter color as well as a darker color, I believe. I know the darker, I know it has a black in this for sure. And I think there's a lighter, almost like cream color to this. Not white, but cream. And these are really, really comfortable, you guys. Again, picked this up at Target. I bought an 8.5. And I think you have to size up, especially if you have wide feet, you're going to want to size up with these. I typically wear a 7.5, 8, but I had to size up in order to get these to fit comfortably and not squeeze my feet. But I think though that kind of woven design is such a cute one for spring, summertime that I'm definitely going to get a ton of use out of that one. Next, I want to mention another bag. I actually picked this up from Coach, and this was a pretty last minute purchase that I picked up to go on my trip to go home. And I wanted something where if I just wanted to carry my phone, I could do that, and just like my phone and my credit card or my driver's license. That's it. I wanted something I could carry that without having to worry about holding it, without having to worry about putting it in my back pocket and it being an issue. So I picked up this from Coach. Now, I first saw this when I went to Coach with Daphne from Daph's Makeup. And she actually picked this up in a beautiful like bee design. And I was like, you know, that's super cool, but I didn't get it then. And then when the trip was coming up to Tobago, I was like, okay, I need to get something that I can carry it with. So I went back to the Coach website and I ended up picking this up. I do believe this retailed for about $60, but it's absolutely beautiful. So you get this black leather. You have a giant compartment in the front that holds your phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it is a pretty large phone in terms of the size, and it fits easy in here and completely latches. So your phone fits into the front compartment really well. It does say Coach at the bottom here. It has this sort of metal detailing to the strap where it's like 3 inches of metal and then the rest of it is this leather strap. So it also hooks to the back here, and you wear this as a crossbody. Now the strap itself, the leather part, is adjustable, so you can make it shorter or longer depending on the length. I kept it as is because it seemed to sit really well on my body. But you can adjust it depending on your height. Now there are also additional compartments other than the phone compartment. So there is a compartment behind here that you can put things into. It is pretty tight, so I wouldn't recommend that. And it's also probably pretty tight because I have one of the biggest phones out there. So if you have a smaller phone, it might be able to open up a bit easier for you. But there's also this zippered compartment here. So I would, when I was using this, put my phone in here and then tuck my credit cards and my driver's license in here. So it was safe all around. Now I took this to Trinidad with me, and I also took this to Seattle with me, and it was perfect. I wore this, I was up on the Space Needle, and I was walking around that day for hours. And I knew that I didn't want anything in my hand. I didn't want to have to hold anything. And this was perfect because it just like tuck it around me, like literally. Just slip it on. It's hanging on your waist, super secure. And I could just walk with my hands free whenever I needed to pull up. I could pull up my phone really easily to take a picture. So I really love this. I think the black is great. It goes with everything. I would love like a dark brown as well, or a more neutral color. But this, ton of use out of it. I did end up scratching it up a little bit because I took this hiking with me in Trinidad, which wasn't the best idea, but it's not scratched enough that it bothers me, and nobody should be that close to me anyway to see it. Another lifestyle thing that I purchased for travel was my MacBook case. Now I knew I needed a sleeve in which to keep my MacBook safe because I didn't have one, and I don't have an outside covering for my MacBook, but I wanted something that was kind of thin and wouldn't be too heavy or thick or bulky because I just wanted to be able to throw it on and throw it in my purse, but one that offered protection. So I ended up picking up this really pretty lilac one from Amazon. First, I loved the color. Secondly, it was really thin, so I didn't have to worry about it being too bulky. And thirdly, it turned out that even though it was pretty thin, it was actually quite quality and had a lot of protection. So it has these two magnetic closures at the front that once you close it, it snaps shut. This is the open part here, and you can store your MacBook. So I just tuck my MacBook in there. It also is very soft, very malleable. You have the purple leather inside, and there are two additional pockets here for storage, so you can store whatever it is you want to. Now in addition to this is actually a set of 3. So you get the sleeve for your MacBook, but you also get a case, like a small mini case to keep your charger in it, as well as a little magnetic thing to like help wrap the charger so it doesn't get tangled. So I will be sure to link this down below because I think this is actually really nice. As far as I know, this is the only color that this one comes in. There is another one that is more like an envelope style. So there's one magnet in the middle and it folds like that. That's in a pink, like a baby pink color. But I liked this one better, so I ended up going with that one. Another item I got a ton of use out of was my little Pat McGrath case. This was a freebie from a Pat McGrath purchase that I made, and I ended up turning this into my tech case. So I stored my charger in here for my MacBook, as well as my charger for when I was traveling. I do have, and we could include this as a favorite. This is a 3-in-1 charger, so everything here lays flat, so it's easy to travel. And then when you get to your destination, you pop it up. So your watch charges here, your AirPods charge here, and your phone charges here. So everything pops up, and when you're done, easy peasy route to travel with. So I had that in this case, as well as with my Mac charger and some other couple electronic chargers in here. What I like about this case is that it actually zips a little bit further down than normal. So rather than it stopping here, it goes down on one side, so it opens up really wide to store things. So I was really excited to be able to use this case. Now in the case, I did keep a couple of other favorite products that I want to mention. First is my iWalk. This is a portable charger for travel. Now you can get this in other colors, you can get it in different voltages, it just depends on what you want. I wanted the pink, and I believe this one is the highest sort of voltage charging power, so it charges pretty quickly. What I also liked about this one is that it includes an LED screen. There are older models of this that don't have an LED screen, so it's really hard to tell if it's fully charged, if it needs to be charged, what percentage you're working with. So you stick in your USB-C thing here, and you to charge the actual charging port. But to charge the phone, the cover pops off like this, and then you just stick it into the bottom of your phone, and it starts charging. And you'll see the LED screen here, it says 100, saying that this is fully charged. So this was one that I got a lot of use out of, especially when I was going to Bismarck. Our plane got turned around, so we were stuck in Minneapolis for 2.5 hours. So I was able to charge my phone while we waited. So that is a really great sort of travel thing, and a travel must-have if you are going somewhere, going to be out for a long time. You want to be able to make sure that you have something where you can charge your phone. Another thing I want to mention, and I cannot find it, and I hope I didn't lose it. I hope it's just somewhere in the mess that is my room right now that you guys can't see, but it is my AirFly. Now, if you travel and you are a Apple user and you have AirPods or even just regular headphones, you'll realize that, or remember that when Apple moved to a single port at the bottom of the phone, the headphones had this regular Apple charger thing. That doesn't fit into a regular headphone jack. So if you're traveling and your plane has like a headphone jack, you can't use your headphones or your AirPods. It actually allows you to use your AirPods. So what it is a Bluetooth converter. You plug this into the AirPod jack on the plane, it connects to your AirPods, and you're able to listen without having any cords or worrying about anything else. I tried it on the plane, it worked really well. One thing I will say in terms of using this is just double check if your plane has a TV or AirPods. I was able to use it for 1 out of my 3 trips, and that was with Delta. Caribbean Airlines didn't have the jack. Like, I don't know, they didn't even have a TV. Did they? They didn't have a TV. So Caribbean Airlines, I wasn't able to use it with, nor was I able to use it with Alaska Airlines, but Delta I was. So just check what plane you're using, check what airline you're going with, and see if it even makes sense to pack this, because it might not, depending on the trip that you're going on. Okay, the next thing, actually, 2 more things I believe in lifestyle that I want to mention before we transition into the makeup-y section of things. First up is this pill case. Now, this is a really small pill case. I wanted to have one that was on the smaller side. I have seen much larger ones. And this one is just a standard pill case. It's not by day, but it has all of these open slots, and you can fill it up with whatever you want to. So I filled it up with like my multivitamins, my iron pills, my allergy pills, some Lactaid, all that fun jazz. And then I just used my label maker to put labels on it so I knew exactly what it was. And this has 2, 4, 6, 7 slots. So a pretty decent amount. I even have 1 empty slot because I have nothing else to put in there. This actually came in a pack of 2, and I paid like $4 for this on Amazon for 2. So really good price in my opinion. Then I want to mention a couple of jewelry pieces that I absolutely adored and I have totally fallen in love with. Now, first up is this Afrocentric bracelet. This is from Freebird. I actually purchased this when I went to a pop-up shop in Philly, and I met the owner, and she's like the sweetest human being. She's actually launching a new bracelet today that's this royal purple that I want to get. It's stunning. But this I've been wearing nonstop, like constantly. It's not irritating. It doesn't get tangled in anything. The quality is amazing. You know how sometimes when you get these types of bracelets and the elastic is so like trash that it either is too stretchy or it rips really easily? Not that at all. I've been wearing that nonstop. Next bracelet that I have, you've seen this one before. This is my little elephant bracelet. I'm obsessed with elephants. They're my favorite. And I got this at TJ Maxx. I paid $13 for it. It's from the Lucky brand. Love it. I've been wearing these. This has been my go-to pair. If I'm wearing nothing else, I'm wearing these 2 bracelets. That's it. Then 2 new bracelets that I actually picked up, again from TJ Maxx. This is a red sort of dragon bracelet. You have 2 little dragons on the front here and this ball. And I think it's so pretty. And I just recently started stacking it with this, and this has become my trio, which I've been really enjoying. So those sort of beaded bracelets I've been really into lately. And then the last piece is another piece that I got from TJ Maxx. I do have matching earrings for this, but I really enjoy the bracelet. It is this sort of, I guess it's a dragonfly maybe. So it's a dragonfly bracelet. It has these little diamond studs, faux diamond studs here. So let's see if we can get the imaging. There we go. So you can see that and the faux dragon diamond studs. On the back, there's also these little diamond studs in there. And it is the clasp where it has 2 sizes. So you can put it in any one depending on the size of your wrist. And I've been really enjoying this chunky bracelet. I've been really into these like chunky bracelets lately. That's just been my vibe. Okay, so a couple other things that I want to mention. In terms of travel, I picked up this portable backpack. This actually folds out into a backpack. So it's like this, and then it becomes this. I'll insert a picture so you can see what it looks like folded out, and maybe a little video of me wearing it. It's actually a pretty decent sized backpack, and I love that it folds into such a compact thing. I was able to carry this to Trinidad with me when we went hiking. That was my hiking backpack. And it's not just one random open like section of a backpack. It actually has a water bottle holder and multiple compartments. So it is a pretty legit backpack. It's nylon material, so it's very easy to clean out, and great if you are confined for space, but you want to make sure you have like an extra bag. That makes a ton of sense. Then I believe this is the last thing before I get into the makeups. This wash bag. I've mentioned this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But this comes in a set of 5, I believe. This is the smallest of it. It has 2 small, 2 mediums, 1 large. It is just a travel bag. What I like about this is the fact that it is completely see-through, so you can see everything that's in here. I got the pink version. This comes in white. It says wash bag across the front of all of them, and you get the front is clear as well as the back is clear, so you can see everything. And I've been using this as my skincare bag. I can't tell you how much skincare and just toiletries is tucked into this. It is so full. It also has I guess, what is this called? A hook? It's not a hook. A handle. It has a handle so you can also carry it. And I have been using this pretty nonstop. I also have another one of this, the other small one, because again it comes in 2 small, that I used to hold my eyeshadow palettes when I traveled to Trinidad. But for the last couple of trips, I've only been using my skincare one because I've really whittled down my eyeshadow for those trips because they are only like two days each. Okay, let's talk about the makeups. So first thing I want to do is I actually want to start with a makeup adjacent product, and this is the brush holder slash brush case that I have. I got this as a Christmas gift from one of my sisters, and what I love about this is the fact that it holds a ton of brushes. Now it does actually have little compartments where you can stick the brushes into, but because it doesn't hold that many that way, I just kind of like stuff it all in here. And the best part about this is that this stands up on its own. What I found with a lot of brush cases is that they don't stand up, and I like to be able to have it to use it as like a cup. So it stands up on its own when you are using it. And then when you're done using it, this part completely folds up. And you can zip everything together. So there you go. It's perfect for travel like this, and then when you're ready to use, you unzip it and then you roll this part down. Now the thing about this too is the inside here is plastic, so you can just wipe this off because of all the makeup and whatnot that's going to get on it. So I need to clean this right now. The other makeup holder I've been using is this one from, what's this, Tote and Twine? Tote and, yes, Twine. So this is a cosmetics holder or toiletries holder. So it has several sections. So on the top here, I've been using it to store my pencils. So my brow pencil, lip liner, eyeliner, and my brow and mascara stuff have all been stored here. Also, before we get into the rest, the pattern on this is so darn cute, right? Anyways, in this second section here, I'm not using any of these sort of mesh pockets, but the middle pocket I used to store my palettes. So I have my face palettes, my makeup palettes, my eyeshadow palettes, everything palettes in here. And then lastly on the bottom is just a giant open pocket. So this has foundation, mascara, foundation, powder, concealer, setting powder, all that fun jazz is stored there. So this has been a really good kind of all-in-one catch-all case for me. And it definitely folds up like this. But once you get to your destination, this hook, you can just hang it wherever you need to hang it. Now, for the actual makeup, let me tell you what I've been loving. First and foremost, the Milk collection. This Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer is phenomenal. Now, I purchased this basically the same time I purchased the One Size Matte Beat the Sweat or some Secure the Sweat primer. I prefer this one to that one, just putting it out there. As for the setting spray, this is also really nice. The One Size one feels like you're spraying hairspray directly on your face. It is extremely uncomfortable. What I will say about this one though is that the stopper does get a little clogged, so you have to clean it out. Otherwise it sprays really funky and you might just get that one spray in your face. So just be careful with the stopper, the sprayer in this one, because it can go left real quick. There are also some repeat favorites in this video, so I'm gonna try to go through those quickly and not spend a ton of time on it. Speaking of repeat favorites, Blend Money Trove. Now, I wanted to have a easy palette that had some really cute eyeshadows, colorful eyeshadows in there that I could travel with. For the most part, I knew I was gonna wear neutrals, basic brown eyeshadows. But for like if we were going out to dinner that night, I knew I wanted just like something a little extra. So the Trove palette is just 4 multichromes, and you all know multichromes do all the work for you because they shift so many different ways, and this is like the perfect travel size, so I wanted to make sure I kept that one. Then I also packed the Sydney Grace face palette. This is in the deep shade. Y'all, nobody beats this blush. This blush is like my perfect blush, so I needed to have that, and it goes with every single thing, like without fail. So I packed it honestly entirely for that blush because it's everything. Because these last couple of trips were basically work trips, I knew I was going to be wearing neutral eyeshadows. So because of that, I packed my Pat McGrath Sublime Seduction palette. This is from the Love collection, and this is the warm neutrals one. So this is what I've been using non-stop because it's really the only palette that I packed. And then I threw in this Pat McGrath Midnight Voyage palette. And I didn't get a chance to use this, so I wouldn't even include it in the favorites, really. Really, for me, the favorites are these 3, because those are the ones that I packed and really have been diving into. Another favorite I want to mention is this Lancome Teint Idole foundation. Now, this is the old version, and they just reformulated this, and I am praying with all of my might that it's still good. Now, this foundation held up so well in every single climate I was in, and I am just like so impressed with how it held up in the heat, in the cold, like all of that. So I really enjoyed that one, and I'm really hoping that the new version is just as good. Otherwise, I'm gonna be real sad. Another favorite that I rediscovered is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. Now, it's called a powder foundation, and you can wear it by yourself. You can use it to set other like liquid foundations and all that. And I really like this. What I found myself doing with this is using this to do like a no makeup look. So I would go in with the Super Goop sunscreen in that Sunset Deep shade, the glow screen in that Sunset Deep shade, and then I would set that with this powder because the glowy was a little too glowy for me. It still is a little too glowy. I like it, but it was real glow. So because it was so shiny, I would just go over it with this, and it wouldn't add too much coverage or disruption. It would just kind of like mattify things and take the shine down. So I really enjoyed that. And I haven't been using it since I've been trying to like pan my Too Faced Born This Way powder and the Essence powder that I have. That being said, I wanna, since I just talked about it, mention the Super Goop Glow Screen. This is in the shade Sunset. I do think if you like a very glowy face, you're gonna like this. I probably should have gotten the one one down from this because it is very rich in terms of color, and not only just very rich, it's also a little bit on the red side. I have a more yellow golden undertone, but I thought that this would suit me better because I did get a little bit deeper while I was in Trinidad. I am going to keep getting darker because it is the summertime, so I didn't want to go too light because then it would just be weird. But I do think that it is a really nice sunscreen. There's no white cast to it, and because it's tinted, it does offer slight coverage. It's just that it's a little glow. It's a heavy glow, y'all. And some days I wanted that, and some days I was like, no, let me use my micro smooth powder to like mattify it a little bit. But overall, very, very nice. It was glowy without being greasy, if that makes sense. Like the Supergoop Play sunscreen is greasy. This was just glowy. Okay, two last things that I want to mention, and then we'll wrap up this video. First thing I want to mention, the Rare Beauty foundation and concealer brush. These brushes are so darn good. I don't know if it's the bristles, I don't know if it's the shape, but these blend foundation like a sponge. I have always been a sponge girl because I found that brushes tend to just move foundation around, leave a lot of streaks on the face, and that it's really important to go in with a sponge to pat everything in. But when I use this brush, I don't need to go in with a sponge, and that is like chef's kiss for me. I also really like how these are shaped because they can get into all of those little crevices. And this is the foundation one, and the concealer is basically a mini version of it. So with the concealer one specifically, you can really get into the crevices and blend out your concealer. So I love the shape of it. I love the blendability of it. And even though these are synthetic bristles, they're still very, very soft. So I don't feel like they're harsh on the skin in any way. So I really, really, really like those. And then lastly, the Byredo palette. I don't have it with me because, like I told you guys, I am moving. So there are several products that I've already packed away to take with me on my move. So it's packed away, but I really like that, you guys. I think that in terms of value, because of how many shades you're getting there, it is a pretty decent value. The pan sizes are ginormous. The performance is amazing, especially if you like that soft, and I mean soft, that soft glam look. You're gonna love it. Okay, so that is it. Those are all of the products that I have been loving, using, testing, obsessing over in the month of April and May. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. I've been having a good time. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on all of the products. Any travel recommendations that you might have in terms of products that I should be using when I travel. Leave that down in the comments below as well. I would be very curious to hear those. If you haven't already done so, hit that big red button and subscribe to this channel because there's so much great content coming your way. As always, I want to thank you guys so very much for supporting, so much for watching my content. I appreciate you more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!